Good morning, children. So today it's the time to begin with the next chapter, and it's the last chapter that's going to come in your final examination. This is the nervous system, chapter 5. Before starting the chapter, I would like to recall few things with you all. Like, till now we have read about certain life processes. As the previous chapter, did you remember? It was dealing with the excretory system. So excretion is one of the life process. And likewise, there are several life processes that are taking place in our body. What are they known as? They are known as life processes. Apart from excretion, what is there? Digestion is there, reproduction is there. And what else is there? To sense, to respond. Okay? Then, let me tell you all the life processes one by one. Digestion, respiration, excretion, reproduction, movement or locomotion, and responses. So these all are the life processes. So these all life processes, have you ever thought that how do they take place in our body? How each and every organ of an organ system coordinates with each other? When does the kidney knows that it has to fill the urinary bladder, or how does the urinary bladder coordinates with the kidney? How each and every organ of each and every organ system are coordinating and helping us to work, to learn, to play, to walk, to perform the bodily functions. So it is the nervous system, it's a network, it's the system, it's a channel that is helping our body to do so. And about all these things we are going to study in this chapter. So what makes you understand that at what speed, from what side a ball is coming when any friend of yours throw the ball? When you see a moving train, when you see a moving vehicle, how do you know that it's you? How can you perceive that the vehicle, the train is moving, that you have to chase it, you have to run behind to chase that train, bus or a vehicle? So how do you perceive? Your senses. So these all are done by the nervous system that we are going to study now. So in this chapter, you'll first study about that how many types of nervous system are there. The major two types of nervous system that we are going to study is the CNS, central nervous system, and PNS, peripheral nervous system. And what does they include? So let's see. Introducing the nervous system. What is nervous system? Basically, it's a network of specialized cells, nerve cells or neurons that help to set communication between all body parts. They have two major components or parts. One is your, as I told you, central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So, what does this central nervous system includes? It includes the brain and the spinal cord, and it's the primary one. If the central nervous system get affected, then the throughout movement of the body and the throughout functioning of the body will be hampered. Remember this. Okay, so the brain, which is one of the you can say it's a headquarter, the master control, it is the master control on our body. And how does brain passes on the messages? Through the spinal cord. Okay, so that is why they have been called as the primary control system. Now, what is the next one? Is the PNS. PNS is the network of nerve, and it connects all body parts with CNS. So basically, CNS includes the brain and the spinal cord. And with the brain and the spinal cord, who connects all the body parts and your organs? This PNS, or the peripheral nervous system. So it's a network of nerves. They directly connect all your body parts and organ to the spinal cord, through which the message is transferred to the brain, and from brain it is back transferred to the spinal cord to various parts of the body. Okay, so this is the thing that you are going to see further in this chapter. Now, what are neurons, my dear children? Have you ever heard the term neuron before? I think yes. But what it is actually, you are going to study in this chapter. Neurons, including brain and spinal cord, are the basic unit of nervous system. Okay? And a neuron has a cytone or soma. It has fiber-like branches, dendrons, and further finger-like projection, dendrites. Okay, I'll show you the diagram and then I'll explain you the same again. It has a long tube-like projection extending from cytone called axon. Now let's come to its figure. Okay, let me check. So here it is, the figure of a neuron. Now, neuron is nothing but a cell. It's a simple cell. This is the cytone or the cell body. Okay, this is called cytone or the cell body. This is the nucleus. Okay, and like other cell, it contains neuroplasm. Recall one thing, children, when I was teaching you cell, you remember that a living fluid that cell contained was there, cytoplasm. Then surrounding the nucleus there was nucleoplasm. So in similar way, neurons have neuroplasm surrounding the nucleus inside the cell body. Now you can see the cell is further branched into the finger-like projection, which are known as dendrons. Okay, it is known as dendrons. Okay, and these finger-like projections are further finely branched into dendrites. So cytone is projected out as a finger-like projection known as dendrons, and dendrons, I repeat, they are further branched. Okay, I'll show you with another color. They are further, these dendrons are further colored, further branched, in fine branches are there, and they are known as dendrites. Now, it has a long tube-like structure. This long tube-like structure extending from the cytone or the cell body is known as axon. It's known as axon. Okay, and this axon has axon endings. You can see this tube-like structure is coming to an end, and the end is again, it is branched. So it is known as axon ending. Okay, it is known as axon ending. Now, some of the neuron, do you know that some of the neurons axon is covered with a sheath, and some of the axon, some axon of some of the neuron are not covered with any sheath. They are open or naked. Okay, so the neuron whose axon is covered with sheath is known as myelinated neuron. It's known as myelinated neuron. Okay, and here the sheath is known as myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is basically, it's a cover. I'll show you the thing, don't worry. Now, but there are certain neurons whose this axon is not covered with any myelin sheath, or it is known as non-myelinated or unmyelinated neuron. So the neuron which has myelin sheath, whose axon is covered with myelin sheath, is myelinated, and the neuron whose axon is not having the myelin sheath is known as unmyelinated. So let's get back into the previous one. Okay, here the difference I have written. The axon of some neuron are covered with the white fatty substance. The myelin sheath is made up of fat. Okay, it's a white fatty substance known as myelin sheath. And such neurons are myelinated. And some neurons, they lack this myelin sheath and are unmyelinated neurons. Coming to the next slide, which says about the function. Dendrites helps in transmitting electrical impulses, messages to cytone. Cytone have branched axon ending and connects with the dendrite of other neuron forming a synapse. So I will show you this right here, right now. Now, the last point says, what does it say? That the connection helps electrical impulses to travel with any part of the body, sorry, the body is missing, any part of the body to brain and spinal cord. So I'll tell this again after getting back to the diagram. Okay, so here the diagram is. So what is saying the function? So neuron, they helps in the transmission of messages from the various parts of the body to the brain, and from brain to back to various parts of the body. Now if you want to move your hand, you are desiring to move your hand, that means your brain is sending the message to your hand. To which hand? To your right hand or left hand. You want to move your feet, your brain is sending the message to your feet that move your feet. The feet is moving. Okay, now how does all these takes place? How does all these things taking place in your body? This is the big question. And here, to know the answer of this question, you have to know the function of the neuron. So, neuron acts as a transmitter. They are the electrical transmitter of your body. The message which the brain is sending to your body and your body is sending back to the brain is not the message like you send in WhatsApp or SMS. They are not typed or sent via mobile phones. Okay, they are sent in the form of electrical impulses. Now, who's sending this electrical impulses? Now, see, as I've told you, these are axon endings. These are axon endings. Okay? Since these are axon endings, what do they do? These axon endings get connected with the dendrites. As I have told you, the dendrons are further branched into dendrites. These fine branches are dendrites. Dendrites of one neuron get attached with the axon branches or the axon ending branches of another neuron. Okay, this is one neuron, this is second neuron. Okay, so axon ending of this first neuron is in connection. Okay, I'll show you the connection with different color. This is neuron 1, this is the axon ending, and it is making the connection over here. I'm showing the connection with the pink color. Okay, so this connection is made with the dendrites, with these dendrites. So the point of attachment, the point of junction where the dendrites of one neuron is getting attached with the axon ending of another neuron, that place is known as synapse. This connection is known as, this junction is known as synapse. And when the synapse happens, synaptic impulses are transmitted. That means electrical impulses, also known as synaptical impulses, okay, they are transmitted, and hence the messages are conveyed from brain to the spinal cord to the various parts of the body, and back from body to the spinal cord and back to the brain. Sorry. So just understand like this, student, if I give you a good tight slap, so how can you feel that where ma'am has slapped me, in which side of my cheek she has slapped me? So like this example is there. Okay, so you can feel, you can perceive the feeling, you can perceive the sense of the hurt that you have got hurt because of slapping. Okay, so this is that message from that particular part of your cheek is taken to the brain, and then your brain perceives, then your brain enable you to feel that hurt, that pain when somebody slaps you. So why it is so? Because the peripheral nervous system present there near your cheek transmit the receives the impulse, transmit the impulse to the spinal cord, and then spinal cord to the brain, and then brain recognize that it is the slap. And all these transmission from body to brain, brain to back to the body through the spinal cord happens within a fraction of second. Within fraction of second that it happens before you understand anything. So it is so spontaneous for us. Okay, so that's all about the function of the neurons. So sensory and motor neurons, basically you need to see their functions also. Neurons carry impulse to the brain and spinal cord from rest of the body parts are sensory neurons. Neurons that carry impulse from brain and the spinal cord to the various muscles are organs or called motor neurons. So the neurons that carry the impulses from brain and the spinal cord to the various muscles that helps you to move your hand, neck, head, leg, any part of your body, they are motor neurons. Motor, because they help you to perform motor activities. And the neurons which help you to sense out the senses or passes the senses, sensory messages, they are sensory neurons. So that's all about this. So next is your nerves. So in the next class we'll study about the nerves and then the parts of the central nervous system. Thank you and have a good day.